Hi, my name is Justina Froese. Thank you for joining me. I'm a health and wellness counselor and I help people to firmly transition their diet and lifestyle towards a whole food plant-based diet. Our goal is your excellent health and the focus is often of many people I work with, weight loss. I live in Cologne, Germany with my husband Michael, and from here I do counseling over video to help people make positive changes. I work with Dr. Doug Lyle and Dr. Jen Hawk of Esteem Dynamics using the self-help tools they develop at the True North Health Center, the McDougall program and Engine 2. My first video will introduce the key concept in your road to a better you. We call this the pleasure trap. It explains why you may have difficulties losing weight or following a healthy diet. The biggest problem in the history of our ancestors was starvation. For this reason, our nervous system developed to seek the most calorie-dense food in the environment, to make sure we get the most of our calories and therefore the chances of our survival. This is so deeply rooted in our nervous system that no discipline can withstand it. To understand this concept, it is important to know what motivates us human beings. There are three things. We call it the Motivational Triad. Number 1, pleasure seeking. For example, we seek food and sex. Number 2, pain avoidance, like physical hunger. We avoid it by eating something. And number 3, energy conservation. For example, we save time by reaching for fast food. And guess what? Today in modern life, we face the complete opposite of starvation. We have abundance of food and not enough. The food we eat is highly processed and high in calorie density. So our motivation gets trapped in every aspect. And in the Stone Age, there was nothing like bread and peanut butter. They are both biochemically healthy, but through the processing, we change the calorie density, and many people gain slowly but consistently weight and wondering why, although they are eating a healthy diet. Furthermore, our genetics play a huge role in how susceptible we are to processed foods. Different factors take place here. For example, we now know that 70% of the variance of our weight is genetics. Also, some people have much more sensitive stretch and nutrient receptors in their stomachs. Lucky you if you're one of them. If your friend Harry is eating junk food while being slim and you're not, this is the reason. The reason isn't that you aren't having enough willpower. The reason why you are overweight is that the food you are currently eating is too calorie dense for your type of genetics. Dr. Lyle would say, this is a math problem and we can fix this. Furthermore, there is nothing like a weight loss plateau. You reached an equilibrium for the specific type of foods you are eating. If you want to lose more weight, you have to lower the calorie density of your food. And when you are transitioning to a whole plant food diet, your taste buds aren't used to it and the food will not taste as good as it should, but your taste buds will adapt after a few weeks. In the graph, you can see how this adaptation takes place. On the x-axis are the different phases of the introduction of whole natural plant foods and junk food. On the y-axis, you find how much pleasure releases in the brain by introducing those foods. The first phase is the normal dopamine reaction you should have from whole natural plant foods, what is around about 400 to 500 calories a pound. Nature tells us that we are doing a good thing by eating those foods. In phase 2, you can see what happens when we introduce foods of the modern world like cheese, chocolate, pizza, ice cream, and so on, what is round about 2000 calories a pound. This is a tremendous excitement on your nervous system, which is designed to differentiate only a few calorie differences in food. For example, you can taste the calorie difference by the sweetness of an apple. Imagine what happens when you have to decide between an apple that is on average 300 calories a pound and chocolate that is 3,000 calories a pound. The problem is that your nervous system gets used to the high-calorie dense foods. This is what psychology calls neuroadaptation. When you come from a standard Western diet of 1,000 calories a pound and switch to a whole natural plant foods diet that is 600 calories per pound, your nervous system is telling you that you are doing the wrong thing. This is the reason why it feels wrong to do the right thing in terms of healthy eating and why it feels right to do the wrong thing. By introducing natural foods into your diet, you go against your instincts. Don't think that there is anything wrong with you or that you have a lack of willpower. The reason why this is so difficult is that you go against your instincts. People oftentimes assume that food is as addictive as alcohol or drugs. In reality, it's not. Alcohol can take a year or more to get stable, and other drugs often longer. The lure of processed foods is not in that league. It's much more like getting away from coffee. It usually takes several weeks of determination, but in a month or two, most people are in a pretty good shape. And don't forget that we are designed by nature to love whole natural foods. It's the reintroducing of modern food into the system that makes it so difficult. There are a few tricks that can help your nervous system to get used to the taste of whole natural plant foods and actually enjoying them. You can do a 24-hour water fast. For one day you only drink water, nothing else. If this is too hard for you, do a juice fast for 2 days instead. Mix apple juice with carrot juice. Believe me, after that you will be so hungry, and like my grandmother always said, if you are hungry, everything tastes good. And another tip is, if you want to be successful long term, and I see many people don't take this too seriously, I did this mistake many times and failed, get your environment clean. As Chef AJ says, if it's in your house, it's in your mouth. It's not a matter of if you will eat the junk food rather than when. Don't have any kind of trigger food in your house. And don't be discouraged if you failed by trying to get out of the dietary pleasure trap. As Dr. Hawk says, relapse is part of the recovery. Try to see it from a different angle instead. You are a lucky person because you heard of this message. Many people don't and don't know why they aren't successful and always go back and forth with healthy eating. The pleasure trap is real for everyone. Lastly, the pleasure trap is the reason why humans become obese and develop different diseases like heart diseases. If you need help with this, I recommend you to seek out True North Health Center, McDougall Program, Engine 2, The Fasting Escape by Nathan Gershfeld, Forks Over Knives, or other plant-based doctors. You can also feel free to contact me if you need help with this.